Hello and welcome to this new video from FlutterFlow Academy. Today we will talk about the text widget. The text widget is the first widget you will see when you are in the UI builder under widgets under base elements. This video is divided into three parts. In the first part we will talk about the use cases for the text widget. In the second part we will talk about the styling options you have for the text widget. And in the third part, we will talk about the theme text style. We will dive a bit deeper into that because it is really important. Let's get started. So first, I drag the text widget onto the screen. You can do that by just clicking on the text widget, holding it, and dragging it onto the screen. You will want to use the text widget at all times where you have a static text you want to display. So if you have a magazine app, you will maybe want to use it for a headline like news from today. Something that is there at all times when you open the app. You will not want to use the text widget if you have a text that is connected to an action. Something like save this article. For that, you might want to use a button, like a normal text button. But we will dive into that later when we explain actions in FlutterFlow. Now, let's get started on the styling. For styling the text, you have a lot of options. So first of all, you can define what the text widget says. You can say basic things like welcome, or you can say things like news. But you also can display every other digit that there is. So also a number like 0101, or a special character like a $sign. So the text widget can display every digit there is. We will stick with welcome for now. The next thing you can define is the padding. So what exactly is padding? Padding is the space that your widget has in relation to widgets around it. So if I want my widget to be more towards the right, that means have a padding towards the left, I click on the L, that stands for left, and type in a 10. And you can see now the widget moved because of the padding to the left side. You can do that in all directions. So not just for left, but also maybe for right, which doesn't really matter at this point because to the right side of the screen, it has obviously more than 10 padding, but also to the bottom, which also doesn't matter here because there's a long way to the bottom, and to the top, where you will see a difference now. But what does this little lock mean next to the padding? If I click the lock, all the padding numbers are connected to each other. So if I change one, maybe this one, to 15, all paddings change to 15. You might want to use that if you don't want to switch each padding one by one when you want all to have the same number, like I want to have right here with the 15. If you unlock it, they're unconnected again, and I can change the left padding, but the top padding doesn't change. But if I lock them again, they are connected. The next thing you can define is alignment. What does alignment mean? It means alignment on the whole screen. So if I change the horizontal alignment to 0, it means that the widget is in the middle of the screen horizontally. If I do the same thing with vertically, it is now in the complete middle of the screen, because on vertical it's at 0 and on horizontal it's at 0. I can change that through this bar and you see it moves. The mid of the screen horizontally is 0 for the horizontal alignment. And the mid of the screen vertically is 0 for the vertical alignment. You will want to use that later while designing your app. For now, we will just leave these blank. The next thing we can do is to define a theme text style. But we will dive deeper into that at the end of the video. So now let's continue to the font family. The font family basically is the font that you have set for your text element. In FlutterFlow, you can pick a font from all Google fonts. Let's search the most obvious Google font, Roboto. Roboto is often used in design. You can see I find it here right at the top. If I click on it, my text style changes to Roboto. The next thing I can define is the font weight. For font weight, you have everything from 100 to 900. 100, really thin, 900, really bold. We will dive deeper into that in our typography video. For now, we will stick to normal, but if you want your text to be really bold, you can also pick 700. We will go back to 400 here. The next thing is the font size. Font size is something that might be really familiar to you, maybe through Microsoft Word. It is something that we often deal with. So font size is just the size of the font. I can switch it to 20, to 14. This works as regular. The next thing is the font color. We can change it through 3 different options here again. You have the more advanced option, where you can type in a hex code, or where you can really define the color, or where you can use theme colors. You have the palette option, where you can choose different tones of one color. And you have the simple option, where you can just choose a simple color. Then I can also make the text italic. For that, I just have to check this box right here. And I can also do the text alignment. The text alignment matters if you have more text than just one word in your box. Then you can align the text as normal, as you know probably from Microsoft Word. You can align it to the left side, to the middle, to the right side, or as a block. For now, because we have just one word, it really does not matter. Let's dive deeper into text theme styles here. What are theme text styles? I can pick here between different subtitles, body texts, and titles. But what do they mean? For that, we will have to take a look into our app settings here on our left bar. If I navigate to app settings on the left navigation bar, I can see that there are different typographies, if I scroll down, defined through my whole app. I have the titles, title 1 to 3, I have subtitles 1 and 2, and body text 1 and 2. So what does that mean now? While designing, I now can define throughout all screens, throughout my whole app, a font size, if it's italic or not, a color, and a font family for each of these different text styles. That really helps me if I want to change a style throughout my whole app. As an example, if I have 3 different screens, maybe in my restaurant app, I have 3 different meals I offer on my dessert menu. Then I will want to use maybe title 2 to write down the title of the dessert. And then if I change the style of the title here in the typography section of the app settings, so I would change this from medium to bold, the font size maybe to 21, and I would make it italic, then on all 3 screens, now my title 2 would be bold, have a font size of 21, and would be italic. That saves me a lot of individual and manual design work. Let's switch back to the UI builder. What does that mean now for our text widget? That means that you want to think wisely about which text style you want to use for each element. In a really sophisticated design system, you have clearly defined where to use which text style. So maybe, let's get back to the restaurant example, every title of a dessert, every title of a meal always has title 2. And every nutrition description always has body text 2. If you define it like that, you can change it with just one click in the app settings for all your meals. That will really save you work. Now, we hope you liked the video from FlutterFlow Academy about the text widget. If you have any questions, just drop them below in the comments.